Hello! Today I'm going to walk you through the entire process of setting up the SmoredBoard, how to use it in anything, as well as go over some other things you might want to know, like how to add sounds, how to use keybinds, stuff like that. And I'll add timestamps, so you'll be able to jump around to whatever you need. First, we'll need to download the SmoredBoard. To do that, go to SmoredBoard.com, link will be in the description, then click the download button to get the SmoredBoard's installer. Once you have the installer, double click to run it, and make sure it runs as administrator. If when you launch it, it doesn't ask for admin permissions, you'll need to close it, then right click the installer and select run as administrator. Once you have the installer open as administrator, click next, then agree to the terms of use, then agree to the privacy policy, then click next here, then click next here, and this page is explaining the VB cable. We'll go over that later and what that is. So click next again. Then click next again to actually start installing the SmoredBoard. And once you finish going through the installer, you're going to need to restart your computer. This is so the VB cable can finish setting up, which is what routes the audio from the SmoredBoard to your game or software. After installing and restarting, we'll need to go through the Setup Assistant. So when you first launch the SmoredBoard, it should appear like this. And if it doesn't, just go down to Settings down here and click Setup Assistant, and this will open it. Click Get Started, and then in the audio page here, make sure you select your headphones and your microphone. So for me, I need chat mic and systems right. So when I talk into it, I'll be able to hear myself talking. If not, double check which devices you've selected to ensure you're using the right ones. After you have everything on the audio page set up, so you can hear yourself talking, click next to move on with the Setup Assistant. This next page explains how to use the SmoredBoard in other games, but don't worry about that right now, we'll go over that in a bit. So just click I understand to move on with the Setup Assistant. This page shows us how to add sounds using the integrated browser. So you'll see the Add Sounds button here. This button is at the end of every profile, and when you hover over it, you'll get two options. The web icon for adding sounds using the integrated browser, and the folder icon for adding sounds locally. So for the tutorial here, click the web icon and it'll launch the SmoredBoard's integrated browser. Once the browser opens, scroll down until you find the Download MP3 button, then click that to add the sound to your profile. And don't worry, we'll go over more in depth how to use the browser later. Next, click the sound to play it so you can continue with the Setup Assistant. And this page just tells you more stuff that we'll go over in just a bit. So click next for now, then click start using your soundboard, and that's the entire Setup Assistant. So to use the SmoredBoard in other apps, first let me explain how the SmoredBoard gets the audio from in here to your application of choice. So open settings and go to the audio tab. And here you'll see the three devices the SmoredBoard uses. First is your headphones, this is so you can hear the sounds. Second is your microphone, and this is so it can copy the audio from your microphone onto the third device, which is the virtual mic. And the virtual mic is where all the audio that everyone else hears is sent. The headphones device and the mic device will all depend on what audio devices you have on your PC, but the virtual mic needs to always be set to cable input, and let me explain why you need that. There are two types of audio devices in Windows. One is an input device, and another is an output device. And by default, you cannot use any output as an input, and you can't play any audio onto an input device. But for the SmoredBoard, that's exactly what we need to do. We need to play audio files on the input device so others can hear them in-game. And that's exactly what the VB cable devices do. Think of it like playing audio on a speaker, but in front of that speaker there's a microphone. And that microphone takes whatever audio it captures and plays it on a speaker that's in front of another microphone. So you can see here how this fixes our problem. It's a little complicated, but it works. So to use the SmoredBoard in anything, as long as the virtual mic is set to cable input, all you have to do is make sure that everywhere else that you want to use the SmoredBoard, that your mic is set to cable output. Okay, next let me show you how to add more sounds. Then we'll go over how to customize them with images and names. There are a few different ways to add sounds into the SmoredBoard. The best way in my opinion is by using the integrated browser. So to access the browser, just scroll to the end of any profile and you'll see the Add Sounds button there. Just hover your mouse over it and press the web icon and that'll open the browser. Then on any website, whether it's My Instance or Tuna or Voicey, just click the download button and it'll automatically add the sound to your profile. So to be clear, it doesn't matter from what website, as long as you can download an audio file, the SmoredBoard's browser will automatically intercept the download and then add it into your current profile. The second way to add sounds is by dragging and dropping audio files you have locally on your PC into the SmoredBoard, or by clicking the folder icon on the Add Sounds button here. This allows you to use these buttons here to either import files by selecting them one by one using the bottom option, or by importing all sound files in a folder using the middle option and the top option, which can be used to import any .dat files, which happens to be what VoiceMod v2 uses. So I'll link a tutorial in the description on how to use that to import all your sounds from VoiceMod v2, not the new v3 version, the old v2 one. The third way to add sounds is by importing SmoredBoard Profiles. So if you want to download one of my profiles, go to the link in my description or smord.com and download a profile, then just double click it or drag and drop it into the SmoredBoard and it'll import it as a new profile. Also, you can right-click any profile you've made and export it so you can share it with others. Now, to customize sound buttons, there are two different ways to customize them. First is images. To add an image, either use the integrated browser, find an image you like, so I'll search cool image. So find an image you like, right-click it, and then you'll get two options. If you just added a button using the browser, you can click the last import button, and this will add the image to whatever sound you imported into the SmoredBoard last using the browser. Or you can use the current selected one. and that'll add the image to whichever sound you have currently selected in the SmoredBoard. And if you don't know which sound you have currently selected, look at the sidebar and it'll tell you. The second way to customize sound buttons is by changing the name. So to do that, either select the button you want, then the sidebar, click on its name, and then type in whatever name you want. So like that, and now the name is changed. Or just right click the button and press change name and type in whatever you want. Now you probably already noticed the ability to change the volume of a specific sound in the sidebar here by dragging the slider. But you probably didn't know that you can also change the audio of everything on an entire audio device. So to do this, click the slider icons here at the bottom right, and this menu will pop up here. And this will let you change the volume of your headphones. This is all the audio that you hear, as well as the sound effects, which this is all the sound effects that other people hear on the cable input device. And then you can also quickly change your mic volume here as well. Also, if you need to quickly mute your mic or your sound effects, on the bottom left of the SmoredBoard there's a speaker icon and a mic icon. So if you click on the mic icon, it'll mute your mic, and if you click on the speaker icon, it'll mute all sound effect output so no one else can hear the sounds, but you still can. Now let me show you how to use keybinds in the SmoredBoard, so you can easily play a sound or start an action at the press of a button. To add keybinds to a sound, simply click on it, then click on the keybinds box here, then press whatever key you want to use or keystroke. So you can do, let's say, H and J, or if you just want to keep it simple, do one at a time, you can do that. It really is simple. Now when I press R, it'll play that sound. Now there are also other actions you can set keybinds to in the SmoredBoard. So open the settings page here, then go to keybinds. Once in here, you'll see a few options. The one I use a lot is stop all sounds. So to set a key for stop all sounds, it's the same process as setting keybinds to a sound. Just click on the box here, then press whatever key you want to use. Two things to note is that keybinds will not work if 1, you have the keybinds toggle off on the bottom left of the SmoredBoard, and 2, if the SmoredBoard is not running as admin. Now they will work sometimes when not running as admin, so test it out, but if keybinds are ever not working and you've ensured that the keybinds toggle is on, just close the SmoredBoard and reopen it as admin and that should fix the issue. This is something I'm going to fix soon, but for now, you're just going to have to do that. Now let me show you one of the most unique features in the SmoredBoard, and that is the Effects Lab. So to access it, click on any sound so it updates the sidebar, then right click the Apply Effects toggle, and this will open up the Effects Lab down here. Real quick, if you don't like it being down here, you can quickly drag this bar to make it bigger, or press this button here to pop it out into its own window. This so you can re-drag it around, put it on a second monitor, make it bigger, do whatever you want with it. And once you're in the Effects Lab, there's two different ways to add effects. One is by adding a single customizable effect, and another is by adding presets. The SmoredBoard by default includes 4 presets. Alright, now I have this perfect effect. It sounds really good. To use this effect I just made on another sound, all I have to do is save it as a preset. So to do that, click the save icon here on the left, give it a name, so I'll name it Funny Bass Boosted. And then when I click the preset button here, you'll see it's an option. So I can click another sound, turn on the effects, and then add it as a preset. And you can see you can use it on anything. Now if I want to share this beautiful effect with a friend or maybe put it in the Discord or something, you can click the button down here, and this is the export button. This will export it as a code. So just copy this code, Control A, Control C, and share this code with whoever or wherever you want to share it. And to import this code, click the button down here, the import button, then paste that code, give it a name, so Funny Bass Boost 2, alright, 12 I guess. Then you can add it to another sound. And you'll see it'll be here in the effects menu, just like normal. Alright, now let me go over your SmoredBoard account. So open settings, then click on the account here, and you can sign in or make an account here, or use your own browser if you have a password manager or something. But note that accounts are not required to use the SmoredBoard. And if you do make an account, your SmoredBoard sounds and profiles are not saved to it or anything. Accounts are purely used for tracking SmoredBoard Pro status. And if you're wondering what SmoredBoard Pro is, it's all the extra features that heavy soundboard users or content creators like me might need. I'm not going to go over all the features here, but if you use the SmoredBoard and like it, consider getting Pro. It helps keep the SmoredBoard free, while also giving me the ability to add even more features and updates in the future, which I have some really cool ones planned. So I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out all the Pro features as well as the pricing, so go check that out. If you experience any issues with the SmoredBoard, check out the Help Center. You can access it on the general page in settings by clicking the link to the Help Center, or just go to help.smordboard.com and you can find a bunch of documents that go over different issues you might have. And if you can't find your issue there, you can email support@smordboard.com and we'll help get it fixed. Don't leave a comment on here with your issue. I don't check the comments that often, so if you really need help, go to the Help Center or email support@smordboard.com. So 2 more things. If you have a Stream Deck, the SmoredBoard does have a Stream Deck plugin. So you can add sounds to it and play them all at the press of a button. And if you don't have a physical Stream Deck, you can actually use your phone as one, allowing you to control the SmoredBoard from your phone. So click the video on screen if you want to know how to do that.